We generated $29.4 million in pipeline for our clients without relying on ads, referrals, or word of mouth growth. And we did all of this by sending over 1 million cold emails for those clients every single month and making sure that those cold emails converted into leads and booked appointments. In this video, I'm breaking down the complete sales automation stack that we use to send this volume of emails, make sure they're all personalized and relevant, and generate thousands of leads, booking hundreds of meetings for our clients and ourselves every single month, exclusively for B2B businesses. Now, here's the reality. If you're doing outbound manually or using the wrong tools, you're going to be capped at sending maybe a couple hundred emails a day. And with this stack that I'm about to show you, we're doing tens of thousands of emails per day per client with better deliverability, higher response rates, and better conversions overall throughout the pipeline. So I'm going to talk about the 5 tools that you absolutely must include in your stack to be able to successfully run outbound campaigns. Let's dive in. So the first one that I want to talk about is Smartlead, smartlead.ai. So this is the email sending engine, and it is one of the core components of most of our outbound, especially when you're looking at email outbound. Why is that? Because Smartlead is going to be your all-in-one email sending platform. So it's going to allow you to send emails. It's going to allow you to create and warm up inboxes, which helps you with your deliverability. It's going to allow you to monitor deliverability using placement tests. It allows you to use smart servers to get isolated IPs for some of your campaigns, which helps you inbox with the enterprises. It includes a unified inbox that consolidates all the responses you get in one platform and allows you to reply to those people. Contains a reply agent that will automatically draft responses to any prospects that reply to you. And finally, all of this is done and managed under one hood with beautiful analytics and with deliverability focused features like inbox rotation and high quality warm-up pools already included within the tool. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of where all of this lives. So this is the Smartlead window. This is the master inbox. This is where all of your email accounts will live. We manage under this Smartlead account, we have about 17,000 email accounts. And smart delivery is what helps you with monitoring deliverability. Smart servers help you get isolated IPs for all of your campaigns, and smart agents, especially the reply agents, they allow you to respond to prospects automatically. In fact, Smartlead will even allow you to find prospects. So they've recently released this feature called Smart Prospects, which allows you to actually look for leads directly and find the people you need. So now, not only does it allow you to send emails, it also allows you to find who to email. Now, how do we use it and how does this fit into the overall outbound stack? We use Smartlead to send tens of thousands of emails per day. Obviously, we're not sending that volume of email from one email account. So we set up thousands of email accounts like I showed you here. We have 17,000 email accounts under this Smartlead login, and all of these accounts are rotated. So each account sends between 10 to 20 emails, cold emails every day. That's it. And we use a large network of accounts to be able to send out the volume that we send. Another thing to bear in mind is all of these accounts are also constantly being warmed up, which helps improve deliverability and ensures that we're able to use these accounts over the long term without our emails going to spam. So now that you have the sequencer sorted out, let's look at the next tool, which is clay.com. Now, Clay is the middleware. It's the interface between your sequencer and any other data source that you use to compile data. So that's exactly how we use it. I'm going to explain this using a table as an example. So this is the Clay table in here. And the beauty of Clay lies in the fact that it allows you to integrate several different types of inputs. For example, here you see we have data being fed into this table using webhooks, which means any API that can send data to another API endpoint that can be used to feed data into this table. You can also obviously import CSV files, and you can perform various operations on this data. So you can clean data up. For example, we're normalizing domains here. You can ask AI to visit URLs, research those URLs, extract specific insights, and then create email content or text content using those insights. You can run API call, leverage other tools, other applications from within Clay, and use their outputs to perform further actions on those outputs. Extremely sophisticated, extremely powerful, and the beauty of this tool lies in its ability to multitask with ease, running these API calls in parallel, which is difficult. Like we've tried building something like this in-house, but it's difficult to be able to do it at the scale that Clay does, which is why I highly, highly recommend having Clay as middleware within your stack. Now, how do we use Clay within this outbound stack? It allows you to do everything from pulling leads using the find people function, you can specify whatever filters you want, and it'll give you a list of leads like this. Then you can find emails for those leads. And again, we use certain tools in our waterfall, but Clay essentially allows you to create email waterfalls where you combine multiple different providers to maximize the probability of finding emails for any prospects that are in your list. So you can create email waterfalls, you can verify emails within the same table. And finally, once you have valid contact data for a contact, you can also push that contact into a campaign directly from within Clay. Another use case for Clay, which is extremely powerful, is being able to research your contacts and companies they work with and segment your list based on that research. So if you had a list of marketing agencies, you would be able to use Clay to go to all of their websites, understand what services they offer, if it's an e-commerce agency, if it's an agency for local service businesses, if it's an SEO agency versus an outdoor ads agency. And then you can create separate campaigns based on their agency type, because you can instruct the AI to go to the website, look for specific keywords, or just develop its own understanding by browsing the website on what kind of agency it is. And then you can either push them into campaigns created specifically for those agencies, or you can even have the AI write one or two sentences that would customize your email script for that particular type of agency. And this is extremely powerful because in our tests, this stuff like this, when done properly, has almost tripled conversions for many of the accounts where we tried this. And finally, Clay also allows you to scoring leads based on ICP fit, especially if you have a large TAM. This allows you to preferentially reach out to companies that are more likely to respond. And it helps you improve the results from your outreach by targeting higher quality leads before you go after the rest. The third tool on this list is Apify. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Apify, but because it talks about APIs, a lot of people think that this is super technical and they just never dive in, they just never try to use it. But let me put it like this. If Clay is a supercar, Apify is the fuel that you need to put into that supercar, not your regular gasoline, but actual high performance fuel that you need to put inside your supercar to be able to make the most from it. So why do I say that? Because if there's any kind of social platform that you want to scrape, everybody's reaching out to leads from Apollo and Zoom Info and LinkedIn. If you want to make your campaign stand out, you want to be able to scrape social platforms. You want to be able to scrape directories. You want to be able to scrape things like Amazon or various websites or Google search results. Apify allows you to do all of that for an extremely reasonable cost. Right. So now I'm just scrolling through this list here and you see scrapers for TikTok, for Google Maps, for any e-commerce website based on their technologies, Facebook posts, tweets, and there's a bunch more here. You can scrape Slack. You can create scrapers that browse websites with JSON, with heavy JavaScript, and even scrape content from those websites. You can scrape Facebook ad libraries, LinkedIn, Google ad libraries, pretty much anything. Like anything that you can imagine you would want to scrape and use in your campaigns, there is probably an Apify actor for that use case. And that is exactly why this is so powerful. So how do you use it? Let me show you using this Clay table. So this is a table where we're targeting local businesses and we want to find out if they're already running Google ads, because we only want to target businesses that are advertising on Google. So we use this Apify actor to determine whether or not the business is running Google ads. And the easiest way to do it is you get this actor into your Clay table, you add in your Apify key. Again, I'm not going to show you this because I will end up revealing my Apify key, but you connect Apify, you use the Clay function to run an Apify actor, you connect your API key, and it will go ahead and find ads being run by a company name. So obviously in terms of inputs, you need to have the company's name and the company's domain, but that's easy to find, especially if you're scraping Google Maps, which is also something that Clay can help you with, or you can do it using another Apify actor. So these are the kinds of results. It tells you both the ads that this company is running. It gives you the URL for the ad, gives you the preview, it gives you the names of the variations and the titles that those ads are using. So extremely powerful data. And this table is also a great example of using other Clay features that I spoke about earlier. For example, here we first check if a company is running Google ads. So if you find more than 0 results, you extract the description of the ad and you identify what is that ad for. So you have this column for identifying the primary ad keyword, which is, this ad is for surgical treatments. This ad is for knee replacement. Why is this useful? Because in our campaign, now we can say, hi, John, I saw you running ads for surgical treatments. If we could get you patients looking for more surgeries, would you be interested? This is a 2-sentence email, but it's so relevant because we know exactly what they are looking for. The fact that they are running ads for surgical treatments is because they want more surgeries. So now you know exactly what kinds of customers they want. And if you can go ahead and tell them, I'm going to get you those exact kind of customers, the probability that they are going to respond to your email is extremely high. And then you don't even have to go anywhere. So you create a new column here, push these leads. I'm sure you recognize the Smartlead logo here. You identify the primary ad keyword. You push this lead along with these keywords, along with the fact whether or not they're running ads. You push that lead into the campaign, and then you run the campaign. If you were running multiple different types of campaigns, you could create multiple Smartlead columns like we've done here, and push leads to multiple campaigns as well. So this table is a really good example that demonstrates all of the tools that we've covered so far. But this is only until number 3. Let's look at number 4. And this one is a tie between LeadMagic, TryKit.ai or Kit.ai, and Findymail. And the reason it's a tie is because all 3 of these tools, they help you with 2 things. Number 1, validating emails, finding out whether or not an email is valid. And they even validate catch-alls for the most part, except for Findymail, the other 2 validate catch-alls. Number 2, they help you find contact details for any prospects. As long as you have either a domain or a LinkedIn URL, you will be able to find prospects, business emails, and then reach out to them. Now, we use all 3 of these tools in a waterfall because we want to maximize the chances of us getting a prospect's contact information. Of these 3, LeadMagic and Kit tend to be the most cost effective. Findymail is the most expensive one, but we use all 3 of these with Findymail at the bottom of our waterfall. If an email is available online using these 3 tools in our waterfall, we have a 99% chance of finding that email. Now, finally, for the 5th and the last tool in this video series, you have a CRM like GoHighLevel or Close.com or HubSpot or Salesforce, depending on whatever level you are at with the company. So I'm just going to use GoHighLevel as an example because personally, I love GoHighLevel. It just serves so many different purposes all in one. It helps you manage your entire sales pipeline from the first contact to the point where you close a deal, including all the intermediate stages, which is decline, cancel events, no shows, and so on and so forth. What's also interesting is you can set up automations so that if a prospect no shows or declines an event, they get a certain kind of email to try and get them to schedule again. If they no show after a proposal, you send them a different series of emails trying to keep them interested. Before they show up to a proposal call, you send them emails with case studies, with content that helps build trust, authority, and nurture them. If they go silent after the proposal or at any point in the sales process, you move them to a long-term nurture sequence. And you don't have to manually do this. Like, you don't have to manually keep sending them emails. Using the automations from within GoHighLevel, you can create subsequence. You can create sequences, create campaigns that will automatically email all of your prospects at a given cadence. And that is why I find this to be so effective. Not only that, GoHighLevel is also great for making phone calls. So whenever we get a positive response to our outbound email or LinkedIn campaigns, our salespeople use GoHighLevel to make a phone call and call prospects directly and get them to book appointments. And you can do the same thing with HubSpot and Close.com or Salesforce. Again, the UI might look different, but you need to be using one of these CRMs to, number 1, increase the conversions from your outbound campaigns. Number 2, to better manage your pipeline and make sure that the leads you generate and the appointments you book, they actually convert into revenue. And number 3, to make sure that any lead that entered your ecosystem stays familiar with you so that whenever they're ready to buy, it could be 1 year from now, could be 5 years from now, but whenever they are ready to buy, you are always top of mind. So that is the core purpose that GoHighLevel serves. Now, the beauty of doing this is it's not just for outbound. GoHighLevel is also just as suitable for inbound use cases. You can integrate it with Facebook to get leads from Facebook ads directly into your CRM here. You can integrate it similarly with Google, LinkedIn, YouTube. And it also allows you to build landing pages and create quizzes and different types of forms that you can use for a variety of marketing use cases. So that completes our roundup of the top 5 tools to include in your outbound stack in 2026 and beyond. Quick recap, you want to use Smartlead to send emails at scale with good deliverability. You want to use Clay as the middleware to enrich data, personalize your emails, and segment your lists. You want to use Apify to scrape data sources that where your target audience, where your ideal prospects live. You want to use Kit, Findymail, and LeadMagic to validate emails, and to find people's contact addresses. And finally, you want to use a CRM to manage the entire sales process, make sure there are no leaks in your funnel, and to convert prospects from the first touch to actually closing. Now, here's the thing that most people get wrong. The biggest mistake I see is people buy all of these tools but don't integrate them properly. They might be using Clay, but they don't feed data into Smartlead correctly. They are usually downloading CSVs and then uploading it again to Smartlead. Or maybe they use Smartlead, but they don't validate emails, which leads to a high number of bounces. Or maybe they generate leads and they're all managing responses from within Smartlead and using Google Sheets instead of plugging those leads into a CRM like Close or GoHighLevel, where the process after you've generated a lead becomes streamlined and automated. Now, the magic happens when you connect all of these tools together and use them to run your outbound motion, like I showed you in the examples. That is when you start to feel that outbound can consistently lead to new business, new revenue for your use case. That's the difference between spending money on tools and getting zero results versus spending that same money and generating massive pipeline that continues to grow and continues to become warmer, even though you're not talking to every prospect every single day. So now you know the exact 5 tools that we use to send 1.5 million emails per month. And the truth bomb here is knowing what tools to use and actually implementing them correctly are 2 completely different things. Many people buy these tools, they spend weeks trying to set them up and end up with a system that doesn't work, or even worse, a system that requires more time from them than just simply sending emails using one tool. And that's exactly why we built our done for you outbound process, where we handle the entire setup for you. You just get appointments booked on your calendar. You get, those appointments are nurtured for you. We have salespeople manually calling, setting appointments, texting prospects. All you need to do is show up to the sales calls, do what you do best, and close these businesses. So if that's something you're interested in, and if you're serious about scaling your outbound, click the link in the description below, go to hyperke.com/chat, and we'll audit your current setup and show you exactly what it would be like to build a system that books demos and sales calls for you completely on autopilot. Click that first link below, and I'll see you in the next one.